So, what are the next steps now that you are about to finish your degree in environmental sustainability or you're looking to get into environmental sustainability? Hello, this is actually a follow up conversation that I had, and actually, it's a follow up of a video that I posted, and that video is here, and it is my journey on how I became a sustainability consultant. Although my channel is really focused on how to green your home, I realized that that video of my journey on how I became a sustainability consultant had a lot of views. So, and I also had some of these same questions in the comment section of that video. And then I also had another question that someone sent me on Instagram, and she also had somewhat of the same question. And that question is, how do I get started? I am on the last leg of my undergraduate degree, or I'm finishing up my graduate degree in environmental sustainability. Where do I even begin? And that is a wonderful question. So I did write down some of the steps so that I would not forget some of the steps that you would need to take. And please note that it is not concrete. These are just some simple strategies and steps that you can take to get into the world of sustainability. So, what steps do you need to take now? You're on your last leg, you've graduated from college, university. The next step is get out there. Like, step out there. So what do I mean by that? One of the first questions that you want to ask yourself is basically, what am I interested in? But don't spend a lot of time on that question, and you'll see why in a little bit. Just ask, what am I really interested in? And I'm going to use myself as an example throughout this video because I can only speak to my experience and some of the steps that I took that helped me, and some of the steps that some of my colleagues also have taken to get into this field. So one of the first steps is to ask yourself, what am I interested in? For myself, I was very interested in the art world. I knew I wanted to be in the museum space. And so one thing that I started to do was just really immerse myself into the art world. I did that by reading as many articles as I could about the art industry. How would I operate within that space? How do I operate within a museum space? And so I just really just started to immerse myself in that world and that language. The next thing that you want to do is, once you have found, your area of interest that you would really like to go into, put yourself out there. So you've immersed yourself into this world. Now put yourself out there. One of the best ways that I think is a way to kind of just put yourself out there is LinkedIn. I know a lot of people talk about LinkedIn not being a platform that you can find a job or this or that. But LinkedIn is actually a really good platform to be on in order to connect yourself with not only different topics, but different articles, different professionals in the industry, and different organizations in the community. So even if you're not on LinkedIn to look for a job, use LinkedIn as an educational resource to understand what is out there in this area of environmental sustainability. So follow articles that speak to environmental sustainability. Follow magazines that publish research surrounding environmental sustainability. Also, follow professionals that are in the area of environmental sustainability. And the reason why I say follow professionals is usually when opportunities come up for jobs in the space of environmental sustainability, I always pass them along because there's so many different connections on LinkedIn. Someone will be able to pick that up. And even if it's not a job that I would post on LinkedIn, sometimes I post different industry opportunities. So I know recently I posted on LinkedIn an opportunity for professionals and students who are working in the green building space to apply for a scholarship to go to Greenbuild. That is the perfect way to network and see if that's really the space that you want to operate out of. Do I really want to be in green buildings? So why not apply for that scholarship and see if that's the area of environmental sustainability you want to be in. But green buildings is not the only area of sustainability that you can work in. That is just an area that I'm quite passionate about. But there's so many different areas of environmental sustainability that you can be in. So your next step after, just building some content on LinkedIn, and you don't have to put out content, you can take it in. Your next step would be to then, as you're looking at content, start to make a list of organizations that talk about sustainability. And even if you like an organization and they do not talk about sustainability, follow that organization anyway. And this leads into the next step. So as you figure out what you're interested in, and as you use LinkedIn as a tool or any other platform as a tool that will help you to be immersed into that particular area of interest, then you're going to start realizing what organizations do what. And so your next step is to make a list of those organizations. Go on their website. And when you go to their website, look for things like a sustainability report or ESG report or a community report. And these reports not only help you to understand what that particular organization is doing in the area of sustainability, but it also helps to link you to other organizations. So more than likely, you'll find that from that sustainability report or the ESG report or maybe a community report, they're collaborating or working with another organization for sustainability or ESG, or to help their company to increase sustainability or ESG. And so from there, you have added another organization to your list. So let me back up a little bit. If you do not have an area of interest, if you did not find any organizations of interest as you're perusing through LinkedIn, that's okay. You have another starting point. Go ahead and log into your city's website. So whatever city that you reside in or whatever city that you're close to, especially if you're in an urban area, go on their website and just type in sustainability. See what your city is doing in the area of sustainability. See if they're hiring in the area of sustainability. That would be some great experience. Also, from your city's sustainability report, you then will see who else in your community is working on sustainability and how are they connected to other companies. So as you see, you don't really need to get caught up too much on your area of interest. What you really need to do is get really caught up in finding companies, organizations, people that work within the area of sustainability. And then this will connect you to more jobs, more opportunities, more information about when jobs are coming out, or what jobs touch sustainability, okay? And then I'll go into an example of that later. So you have your point of interest, you have your LinkedIn page that you're getting knowledge from in the field. You may have your city website that you're getting knowledge for things that are happening in your area. And the next thing that you may have at your fingertips is your career center at your college or university. Use it, take advantage of it. You have paid for it. So definitely use your career center at your college and university. I used the University of Missouri St. Louis Career Center, I don't know how many times. I love it. I was there honing in on my skills in undergrad and after graduate school. Your college career center is a wealth of knowledge. They are there to help you prepare to take your next steps in your career. So they have so many services. They have resume writing, they have cover letter writing, they have mock interviews, they have how do you dress for a video interview, prepare yourself for a video interview, how to prepare yourself for an in-person video or in-person interview. They have all these tools for success on getting you to your next step after you have finished your degree. So take advantage of it. If you do not have a career center at your college or university, do not worry, do not be discouraged. The public library will become your friend. I have used the public library, I don't know how many times for job searching research. Your local librarians are a wealth of knowledge to teach you how to go to the right resources for resume writing, cover letter writing, interviewing. They even have some libraries even have classes on how to hunt for jobs on job platforms, how to put yourself out there on job platforms. And to step back to the Career Center, another thing that the Career Center is good for is they help you to match your skill set and your degree that you are finishing or already have finished to the career that you want to be in. And that's like really key to put on your resume. So use all of those resources. Use your career center resource at your college and university if you have one. If you don't worry. The public library will become a place for a lot of resources for you, a lot of resources. So definitely use it. And finally, the last question that I was asked on that video is, do I need a master's degree? So some of the professionals that were maybe viewing the video, they had a bachelor's degree. And I know that in the video I mentioned that I had a master's degree and I also had a lot of certifications. But to answer your question, do you need a master's degree to be a sustainability consultant? No, you do not need a master's degree to be a sustainability consultant. But with that being said, I do need to say this. The majority of my colleagues and coworkers that I work with who are sustainability consultants, they do have a master's degree. A lot of them do. And the ones who do not, they have, it's a lot of years of knowledge, over 10 years of working knowledge in a particular expertise field. So although you do not need a master's degree to be a sustainability consultant, you do need very strong project management skills, and you need an area of expertise that you can speak to and help your clients with. And so for me, I did not, if you go back and look at the video, I did not get a degree in environmental sustainability. I got all of my knowledge and expertise from working in the field. And so although you feel, although you do have, I shouldn't say feel because you do, although you do have a lot of knowledge in the environmental sustainability field coming out of college and even graduate school, you need to figure out how to match that academic knowledge and academic skills to a working real world knowledge and application within an actual organization. And so I have to say, I really was placed in the right position at the right time. I acquired a lot of working knowledge in a short period of time. And I acquired a great amount of expertise because I kind of was thrown out there and I was told, hey, figure it out, but there is going to be a group of people behind you pushing you along to figure it out. So when I was working in the museum space, I actually worked under two people who had the most extensive project management knowledge that I ever seen someone have to date. So when I was at the museum, I first worked under a director of facilities. He had a great knowledge of just how facilities worked, how, buildings worked, how historic buildings worked, why it worked that way. And so when I worked under him, I really understood building operations and building knowledge. But on his team were actually 3 to 4 building maintenance men who each one of them had over 30 years of experience. And so me being in that department, in that short amount of time, I knew a lot about buildings. And I took the initiative to know a lot about buildings. When they were going to do walkthroughs of the building, I asked if I could come along. When they, were doing inspections of this XYZ of the building, I asked to go along. When they were installing new building automation systems that were just innovative and new, I asked to be sat in. Although I was not a building engineer, I just took the initiative for that. And so, I just really was in the right place at the right time. Additionally, I worked under someone who, she was the managing director of operations, and she had over 30, 40 years of experience in project management and just operations of museums, libraries. And I worked under her, and I just got a wealth of knowledge. And those two people took me under their wings, and they pretty much said, we're going to show you everything we know, and we have trust and faith in you that you're going to lead this museum to be a green museum. And so when I was there, I did exactly what they trusted me to do. So in saying all of that, with the experience I gained, I wanted to say this. When you get out there and when you job hunt, you may not become a sustainability consultant on your first try, because I didn't. I had to work within jobs that, I felt maybe I was more educated for that job, right? And I was. But the amount of knowledge and expertise that I gained from those two people, without having a sustainability consulting, title, was very crucial to me becoming a sustainability consultant. So even if your first job is not a sustainability consultant, even if it's not a sustainability consultant, find a job that helps you to build your expertise in the environmental sustainability space, whether it's buildings, whether it's art, whether it's energy conservation, water conservation. Find something that helps you to build that knowledge, that working knowledge of how to match your academic knowledge and your working knowledge together so that you can be the expert matter in that. And so that's really what you'll see most sustainability consultants in larger corporations and firms. They have a really large working knowledge of environmental sustainability. So I wanted to let you know how to get started. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. So as a recap, think about what interests you. Go from there. Let that be your stepping stone to lead you to connecting to different organizations, different people, different places. Next, brush off your resume. Get a nice polished resume together, cover letter. Do mock interviews. Take advantage of your career center at your college or university. If you don't have one, no worries. Visit the public library. They will help you. And then lastly, just start to build more and more knowledge about the field. I promise you, the more and more that you put yourself out there, the right lead, the right person, the right job, the right connection will come your way. Just put yourself out there. Follow other sustainability professionals on LinkedIn. I know I'm one of them. I always post opportunities. I'm not on there a lot because my workload is a little heavy lately, so I haven't been posting on YouTube a lot. But when I do post on LinkedIn and YouTube, I will do my best to pass on any knowledge or leads that I have to help you to get that career going. So I wish you the very best in your journey in the area of environmental sustainability. Don't give up. If you're land a job that is not what you envisioned while you were in school, don't worry. It's your stepping stone to something else. So I wish you the very best in your environmental sustainability journey. Thank you for watching and happy greening.